Hello and welcome, everybody. What is going on? So this is MiaSanMiaTV, and I'm here today to do a preview. I originally did a tactical analysis as I usually do for like the big Champions League games, but it turns out that UEFA doesn't like me very much, and they took the video down within like almost a minute. And it wasn't even like my full tactical analysis; it was like a budget version, I guess you could say, where I mainly just focused on individual plays instead of the actual systems. But yeah, even that got taken down straight away. So I've given up with that. I tried editing a little bit just to make it be able to be uploaded, but no, that's not been the case. I've not been able to get it up for like more than 2 seconds, and that's why we're doing a preview instead. And it's why we're doing our preview so late, I guess you could say, or so early, depending on how you look at it. But yeah, the match today obviously being a huge match, and it just came out as well that Lewandowski is probably not going to play. I'll get into more detail with that in a minute. Once there is more credible source other than just Sport Build, because Sport Build, they're not really that credible, but they're not really that wrong most of the time. So they're just like 50-50, I guess. So he's either going to be fit or not. I could have told you that he's either going to be fit or not. So anyway, talking about the match. So Real Madrid, boy, the Champions League holders. Usually, I'd fear playing Real Madrid. I not really fear, but I look forward to with excitement playing against Real Madrid. But it's just like, but I don't know. Right now, I don't know whether that's just me or whether that's a lot of you guys as well. But I don't really feel like this match is. I don't really feel like this match is going to be that big of a match. I think that Real Madrid, they've just been that poor this season. That I just feel like they aren't really that good. I don't think we're playing them at the right time. I think maybe if they found a form, this would have been a more equal match. But I think right now the odds are very heavily in our favor. I think it's like a 65-35 right now. Which is obviously, especially even with Lewandowski out, I think that the odds are still like huge, because I've been watching Real Madrid. I've been watching a lot of games, obviously, to do the tactical analysis, and they have not really been that good. Now, I watched a lot of their matches against the bigger teams and the teams in the Champions League, because I thought, I look at the bigger teams to see how they play against the bigger teams, and I look in the Champions League to see how they play against teams in the Champions League where it's like a one-off competition or two-off competition, essentially, So that's why I'm most of my focused on that. And they've not been that good against Napoli, especially. Napoli, you're looking at the match, and I thought Napoli could have potentially even won that match. They did everything right except having more men in the box, and I don't think that's going to be a problem with us today, especially with the likes of Robin, Ribery, Müller, Thiago, all being in and around the box, Vidal, all being in and around the box. So I think just from that perspective, I don't think we'll have a problem with having men in the box. Now, obviously, the one thing that Real Madrid are famed for, and the one thing that Real Madrid are still excellent and are probably the best team in the world, is that their counters are just lightning fast. They can, within 5 seconds, they'll have 5-6 players in your box. Now, the only problem is that I think that general attacking is actually pretty poor. It's a counter attacking that is really made up for it. The general attacking has mainly been through the wings, and the reason for that has been quite simple, because they don't have the men in midfield to really push up and help the attack centrally. A little bit of a problem that we had very early on in the season, where we didn't really have the players, in the center to really go forward and support the attack. And I think that's the problem that Real Madrid have had, because Casemiro, he's all over the place, and Kroos and Modric, they'd rather like holding the ball than attacking with it. So that's the one real big difference that I see between past Real Madrids and this Real Madrid, that this Real Madrid is all about the wings, whereas past Real Madrid, they could hit in multiple ways, and they would be good just holding the ball as well. They would be good holding the ball and attacking while holding the ball as well, whereas this time I feel like that's not the case. This time I feel like it's just mainly counter-attacking, and the best way to obviously get rid of a counter-attack is to not lose the ball. But obviously you're always going to lose the ball. You need pressure, and if you can keep the pressure up for 90 minutes, then I think you've basically made it. But like I said, it's a difficult match, and I think the first match, obviously this match that I'm doing a preview for, I think I was actually predicting like a 3-1 victory. But now with Lewandowski, I think it might be a 2-1 victory. I still think we're gonna win this match, but I think it's gonna be a 2-1 victory instead of a 3-1 victory. I think it's gonna be I wouldn't say a close match, but I don't think we're gonna be quite as good attacking wise today. Like I said, obviously it all depends on how we're gonna set up now. I wouldn't totally be against the 4-4-2, to be totally honest. But would you change your winning formula? That's the question right now. Do you change something that's been working? I personally wouldn't. No, I personally would, to be fair. I personally always change. Even if something is working, I'll try and change it just to make it better. If it doesn't work out, then unlucky, but at least I changed. So basically, change for the sake of change. Wow, I sound like Pep Guardiola right now. But yeah, I would change the working system. I would change it, but obviously, I don't think Carlo's quite as inventive as me. I think he rather like sticking to the 4-2-3-1 right now. That's been working so well this season, and it's going to be quite interesting to see how he lines up. I feel obviously Miller's going to be in the start lineup now with Lewandowski apparently not playing. Like I said, it's sport, but take it with a grain of salt, really, because I wouldn't call them the most reliable source, but I wouldn't really say that they've been off that many times either. And they're just a lot of the time they're right, a lot of the time they're wrong. So they're 50-50 exactly. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna be quite an interesting match today, but it's gonna be quite interesting, isn't it? It's gonna be quite interesting. I said I think it's a bit of a mismatch right now, at least in terms of form. But it is a Champions League. At the end of the day, Champions League, that's where teams are made. That's where teams are made. That's where players are made, and that's where the best prove themselves. So let's prove ourselves. Let's do it. Let's win. 3-1. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you then. Peace out and have a nice day.